Yeah.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Unborn here with the Unborn Show. I want to thank you for tuning in today. Today for you, I got Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Now, I know this is a topic, and there are tons of videos, talking about Battlefield versus Call of Duty. I know that everyone has made like 100 videos with that, but I'm gonna get into it anyway because I want to get down into the actual truth. I want to get up close and personal with Call of Duty versus Battlefield. Unbiased review, unbiased comparison. I'm going to be talking about gameplay, graphics, replayability, campaign, the weapons, everything from head to toe. So first things first, the most talked about topic, of course, graphics. Now everyone will tell you that Battlefield's graphics is better than Call of Duty's graphics. Now, that's not really that fair, considering Call of Duty's graphics, although it's reused, rehashed over and over every year, they really aren't that bad compared to Battlefield. The lighting in Battlefield is 10 times better. The lighting effects, the environments, all that is better in Battlefield, and that's where I think people are paying attention to most. The environments, the graphics, all of that, as far as the sky, the lighting, the building structures, that looks better in Battlefield. But at the same time, to all those who say, oh well, Battlefield blows Call of Duty out, you're wrong. Call of Duty actually, they claim is running 60 frames per second. I don't know exactly, but I know the frames do look better than Battlefield. Call of Duty on Xbox 360 at least looks better than Battlefield as far as the frame rates. I'm not saying the graphics, but the frames, they're supposed to be 60 frames per second. I don't know if that's true, but they are looking a lot better than Battlefield. The game just runs smoother than Battlefield. It looks cleaner than Battlefield. The weapons, but some of the weapons in Call of Duty do look better. When they're running the engine for Call of Duty, they look better. So graphics, in my opinion, it has to come to a tie. Battlefield has the better lighting, it has the better environments, but Call of Duty is no slouch when it comes to how smooth it runs, when it comes to how the frames look better on that. It just looks better on Call of Duty, at least on Xbox 360. That's the better version. So that's a tie. Moving on to gameplay, let's get straight to it. Gameplay, we all know, is kind of even. They're pretty much the same thing. L1 to aim, or LB to aim, or R1 to shoot, or RB to shoot. Everything is literally the same, except for Battlefield uses the classic controls and the crouching is activated with R3 or RT or whatever it is on Xbox, but it's R3 on PlayStation. So gameplay, that ties in with the graphics. You can't have graphics and no gameplay, and you can't have gameplay with no graphics. Well, you can have gameplay without graphics from time to time, but they go hand in hand. That's what people don't notice. When it comes to graphics, gameplay can tie into how the game looks. Okay, for example, if you don't understand me, a building being destroyed in Battlefield, to me, that's considered graphics. Being able to destroy a building is a part of the gameplay, but at the same time, it's how that building looks when it's destroyed. That ties into graphics and gameplay. So as far as gameplay, like I said, Call of Duty is smoother, but at the same time, it's a smaller map. You can't destroy anything. There's no vehicles. So the game is running a lot less entertainment in a way. It's running a lot less features than Battlefield. Battlefield is running helicopters. You got boats. You got jets. You got cars and trucks and tanks. You got all this running, looking beautiful, by the way, running at the same time. You got people on foot. You got people jumping out the sky. So in a way, that's graphics. That's graphical power. You got people on screen doing more things than Call of Duty. Call of Duty is a small map. It's corner for corner, corridor for corridor. You know nothing but shoot each other and throwing grenades. When you think about it, that's literally all Call of Duty is. You get to use kill streaks, which is very fun and intuitive. It's very innovative when they keep thinking of these new kill streaks. But apart from that, that's it. Battlefield is running a lot more. So even though Call of Duty is smoother, Battlefield is doing more for the player. So gameplay, I want to give it a tie, simply because Call of Duty, runs at such a smooth pace, and it's kind of old news though. But I'm gonna have to give it to Battlefield. Battlefield has better gameplay simply because it's not just a first-person shooter. Battlefield is also a driving game. It's an airplane simulator. It's a first-person shooter. It's a driver. It's a boat driving game. It's all these games into one. So as far as gameplay, I'm going with Battlefield. It has more to offer for you. Now moving on to simply the campaign, what you get out of each campaign. A lot of people will say, oh, the Call of Duty campaign is 10 times better than the Battlefield campaign, which is not really. It's almost the same thing. Battlefield's campaign is a bunch of like action sequences that happen pieced together, piece by piece. And same thing for Call of Duty. Call of Duty action scenes may be a little, more epic. It can be more epic, but Battlefield is no slouch when it comes to epic action scenes in the campaign. Now, Call of Duty storyline is pretty much rehashed the same thing as Battlefield. There is no points going to be added because of storyline, because they are both the exact same thing. Someone's trying to blow up the world. You're a soldier caught in the middle of it. You got to stop it. Same thing goes for both games. That's just the way it is. Now, I will say Treyarch with their Black Ops series, their World at War, Treyarch seems to be a little bit more advanced when it comes to story. Their story is better than Infinity Ward's story, at least up until Modern Warfare 3, where the story was pretty much nothing. But yeah, Treyarch is better with their stories than Infinity Ward. So as far as campaign, I'm gonna have to give it a tie, because it simply is the fact that they're both the same thing. Now, it's personal preference which one you're gonna like more. Now, also you have to take into the fact that Treyarch and Infinity Ward are both making Call of Duty different. You gotta take into account that Treyarch's Call of Duty story may be better than Battlefield's story, but Infinity Ward's story for Call of Duty is not. So I'm gonna give it to Treyarch has the better story for Call of Duty than Battlefield has. So yeah, technically Call of Duty gets it, but other than that, it's a tie. So other than that, let's move on to weapons and replayability and unlockables and DLC and all that good stuff. So first things first, weapons. Weapons make the game replayable for Call of Duty. When Call of Duty gets kind of old, that's when people try new weapons. That's when I try new weapons. I'm like, oh, okay, I'm getting bored. Let me try this new gun that I found, or this new gun that I unlocked rather. And that's what makes Call of Duty more when it comes to the replayability in that aspect of the game, because you have like camos, you got things unlocked. In Call of Duty, you have more things to unlock than in Battlefield. You got kill streaks to unlock. You got camos for your weapons to unlock. You got attachments, different attachments. Now, Call of Duty probably crushes Battlefield when it comes to being creative. You can create logos and all that good stuff. And this brings me to the main point that I wanted to make a long time ago. Excuse me, guys. Call of Duty is popular because of its social network. Call of Duty is a very social game. It is a very, very good game to play with your friends, to invite your friends, talk trash. Nothing wrong with talking trash. It's fun. You start rivals. You talk trash with your friends. You blow them out or whatever have you. That's what Call of Duty is good for, and that is exactly what Battlefield lacks. It lacks a social network. When it comes to replayability, you need a social network going for you. You need to make the party better. Battlefield has a four-man party that you can have. That's all. Only 4 people. For a game that's housing 6 versus 6 or 9 versus 9. So, I mean, not 6 versus 6, but what is it, 12 versus 12, I think, for Battlefield. So a game that's holding 12 versus 12 and you can only have 4 people in your party, it's kind of, defeats the purpose. Call of Duty, although it has a lack of people compared to Battlefield, when you put 12v12, it makes up for it because you can have 5 of your friends, 6 in total of you entirely, and you have more people to talk to. You have more people to engage with. It's just more better. That trash talking is built up, that experience is built up, and people forget that is what made Call of Duty. Talking to your friends, social parties, networking, Xbox 360's party chat, all that good stuff is what made Call of Duty popular. What made it relatively, effective when it comes to making its own social network. That's what I'm going to call Call of Duty. It makes its own social network, and Battlefield lacks that. When you play Battlefield, sometimes you get lonely. That is the reason why I'll cut my Battlefield game off. Oh, I killed 6 people. I died 3 times. That's it. That's all for now. Now, who's there to talk to? I got a couple people who's in a party who aren't talking because there's no one to really talk to in the first place. So as far as replayability, Battlefield does have more things to do. So therefore, I feel as though Battlefield, more people have played it longer. People are still playing Battlefield. When they brought out their map packs and their DLCs, people stayed on Battlefield and they didn't stay on Call of Duty. Now you can say that maybe because they made new Call of Duties and they didn't make a new Battlefield yet until later this year. But other than that, there aren't that many people playing Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3, which is indeed the game that came out with Battlefield 3. Now, of course, there are millions of people playing it, but you know what I'm saying? There's not going to be, infestation of people just on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. I mean, there are people even playing Call of Duty 2 and 3. So, that's just, not relevant. There are more people, I believe, on Battlefield than there is on Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. So as far as replayability go, it's got to be a tie because, Call of Duty is more of a social network. It gives you more of a social network or a social atmosphere to where Battlefield doesn't. But Battlefield has more of a game to play. So when you do get bored, you got something else to do. You got, you can fly jets for a month. And instead, you don't have to do first-person shooter. You could literally be a helicopter pilot all your duration of playing Battlefield. I could be like, I don't want to shoot anybody on foot. I don't want to play a first-person shooter game. I want to fly this helicopter every match, every game until I can't fly no more. You can do that in Battlefield. So replayability has to be a tie. Unfortunately, it's personal preference. That's the way it has to be. All you fanboys for Call of Duty and all you fanboys for Battlefield, it has to be a tie because it's all personal preference. That's how close the battle is. It's personal preference because it's so close. Like I said, Call of Duty, sometimes you get those weapons and those camos and you want to play it more because of those unlockables, so that adds to the replayability. And same thing for Battlefield, which is just a bigger game where you have more stuff in general. It makes you want to play that more, so it's a tie. That's why it's a tie for all those, I want to jump in the comments and be like, oh, no, it's a tie. I'm sorry, fanboys, it's a tie. So, in closing, there's nothing really else there is. Besides, I understand Battlefield has its weapons to unlock as well. I didn't mention that. I'm sorry, I forgot. But it's still just not as much as Call of Duty. But anyway, in closing, as far as glitches and all that stuff, Battlefield does have a lot of glitches in it, and Call of Duty doesn't. That's just that smoothness, like I said. But looking at the sheet, it's pretty much a tie. Battlefield has a slight edge simply because it's bigger. It is a lot bigger. As far as DLC goes, Call of Duty has a lot of map packs. Battlefield has a lot of map packs. So it's like DLC is a tie. Now, if you want to compare DLCs, I can make another video because that's not relevant to this video. DLCs is their own thing, their own nature. I will say Battlefield did run a bigger campaign for their DLC. They were really running their DLCs before that game even came out. They were talking about DLCs. So That's it for this video, guys. Comment below, let me know what you guys think is better, Call of Duty versus Battlefield, the nitty gritty, get down to it, get dirty, get deep. Tell me how you feel about that. You know, don't hold back anything. I want to know the truth. Alright, so I'm gonna catch you guys at a later time.